Let's get ready for math. From Matt's toolbox, you will need a calculator. And then from Paddy's notebook, just page 205 and 6 of the work text. I have a picture of a tree that is very common in Africa. It's called a baobab tree. It's the oldest and most useful tree in Africa. Do you see anything unusual about the baobab tree? What do you think it looks like? Yeah, does it look like the tree was just pulled out of the ground and then stuck back in upside down with the roots sticking up? That's what I think it looks like. You know, these trees are known to live thousands of years old, and they grow so big that some people even build their homes in the hollowed out trunks of the baobab trees. Now, the African baobab tree has a silvery cork-like bark and has large white flowers that bloom in the summer, but they don't bloom until they're 20 years old. That's a long time to go without a bloom. Now, the woody fibers absorb as much as 1,000 gallons of water, making the baobab tree a great home for many different kinds of animals. Take a look at the different kinds of baobab trees. The upside down baobab tree. Not very many leaves on those trees, was there? You know, the baobab tree was David Livingstone's favorite tree in Africa. And many people worshipped the trees thinking that they were some kind of magic because they were so old. But David Livingstone told the African people that God is the great creator of all living things, even the baobab tree. And you know, God even created math. Do you have a favorite part of math? Is it addition? Is it subtraction? Multiplication? Telling time, counting money. Maybe that's your favorite because you're good at it. So let's try to get better at three-digit subtraction, and maybe renaming will be one of your favorite things pretty soon. Let's take a look at my equation. 409 minus 264. If we were going to just do all the subtraction first like you do on your work text page, what would you subtract first? The ones column. Are you ready? Tell me what to write. 9 minus 4, you know it. Yep, 5. Don't need to do any renaming, do we? Excellent. Okay, now how about what's next? It's the tens. Uh-oh, do we have enough tens to subtract? No, we don't. So what do we need? We need more tens, so let's go get some from the hundreds. We had 4, now we have 3 and 10 tens. So we put a 10 there since we don't have any extra there if we just have 10. So you know what 10 minus 6 is? It's a fact. Right, it's 4. Excellent. Now what's next? We've already changed our 100, but when we did, we only ended up with 3. So what's 3 hundredths minus 2 hundredths? It's 100. 145. So do you think that's right? Do you kind of worry that you didn't do it because you didn't do it on the place value mat? Do we need the place value mat? Let's just try it and see if we got the right answer, okay? Let's take a look. I have 4 hundreds, 0 tens, and 9 ones, and we're going to subtract 264. Remember, we only make the number on the top. Okay, 9 minus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves us with 5. 0 minus 6, remember we have to go down. We need to go next door. We need to swap out 100 for 10 tens. So we put them here. Now let's record what we did. We got to mark it. There's only 3 left. So there's 3 hundredths, and how many tens do I have now? Right, I have 10 of them. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 6 is, I think that leaves me with 4 of them. Yes. Now over the hundreds. 3 minus 2, we can do it. Take the 2 away, and we have 1 left. 145. We're right. 145 and 145. Yay! So if we work things out on the place value mat, it really helps us to see what the numbers really mean. And once you learn to see the renaming on the place value mat in your head, then you won't need this anymore, okay? Let's talk through another one. 962 minus 458. What should we do? Okay, let's see, 2 minus 8. Can't do it. So they're not enough. So let's go over there to the tens. Exchange one of them for 10 ones. Now we have 12 minus 8. We can do that. And we know that it's 4. And 5 minus 5, we can do that. It's 0. And 9 hundredths minus 4 hundredths, we can do that. It's 5. 504. Excellent. Now if we were just doing the numbers, see, we can't see anything. We're just playing with the numbers here. See how it works? 5 minus 5 is 0. 9 minus 4 is 5. Excellent. Okay, it's your turn. I'm going to show you the equation, and you pause to work out the equation on your scrap paper and show the renaming. Don't use your place value kit unless you really need to. Okay, let's try it. 657 minus 386. Pause to work. All right, let's see what your scrap paper looks like. Start with a 1. 7 minus 6 is 1. Okay, we're good. 5 minus 8. We can't do that. So we need to go next door and get 10 tens and then add it to the 5 we already have. And 15 minus 8 is 7. We know that as a fact. Now 5 minus 3, that's easy. 271, is that what you got on your scrap paper? Let's try another one. How about 704 minus 673? Can you try that one? Pause to think about it. All right, let's see how you did. 4 minus 3, easy breezy. That's 1. 0 minus 7. Let's go get some tens. 10 minus 7 is 3. And 6 minus 6 is nothing. So it's just plain old 31. Okay, one more. You can do it. On your scrap paper, be neat. This one's easy. 4 minus 4 is 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. And 4 minus 1 is 3. No renaming. Excellent. Did that last one trick you? There wasn't even any renaming. Remember, I told you only rename if it needs it. Now let me ask you something. Did you happen to check your subtraction with like estimation or something? Or did you use an addition problem to check your work? Or maybe you didn't check it because I didn't ask you to. You know, it's something that you need to learn to do on your own to make sure that you get as many correct as possible. But I think I know why you don't like to do it. It's more writing, isn't it? Having to write down another equation. I can see that. What if I were to tell you about a shortcut for checking it with addition? Using a calculator, and I have a really big one so you can see it, but you need a little calculator today. It's been a long time since we used a calculator. Can I trust you to only use it when you're supposed to check the problem, not to do your work? Okay, let's use one of our last problems. Maybe you still have that on your scrap paper. It's 704 minus 673 equals 31. Remember, 31 was our answer. Now, if we go ahead and we're going to make an equation, we're going to check our work. We need to make an addition equation, okay? Remember, we take the difference and we have that be our first addend, okay? Then we take the subtrahend and we make it be our next addend, okay? Then we add them, okay? Let's see, 1 plus 3 is 4, 3 plus 7 is 10, that's 0 ones and 1 10. 1 plus 6 is 7. 704, okay? Now you can work it out on paper like that, or you can try something else. Okay, you can Use the calculator. Do you know how to do that? Let's take a look. You take the first one, your first addend, and you find the numbers. 3, 1, that's 31. Then you find the plus button. Okay, then you do the next one. 673. And then there's the equal sign, so you find the equal button. Look, 704, there it is. You know you got it right. Excellent. Was that faster? Do you think you could do the next one? I hope you have a calculator, okay? So let's go back to another equation that we have already solved. Take a look at it. It's 414 minus 104 equals 310. This is what we got when we already did the subtraction, okay? Now what I want you to do is to make an addition equation and solve it on the calculator, okay? Do that right now. Did you figure it out? Was it easier? Let's see if we have the same answer. What was the addition equation? Did you write it down? Mine was 310 plus 104. Okay? Did you figure it out? If I were doing it the hard way here, the long way, we would add 0 plus 4, which would equal 4. 1 plus 0 is 1, and 3 plus 1 is 4. And it's the same thing, 414. Okay? Was it necessary to rename anything? No, this was an easy one. Now, what happened when you solved it on the calculator? Let's take a look. We had, let's see, 310, that was the one down here, 310 plus, got to press the plus sign, 104, and now we need the equal sign, and we have 414. Yes, we got it. It was the same. Calculator just really verifies that we did it right. Okay, now one more, and I want you to do this one from start to finish on your own. I'm going to show you a subtraction equation with the answer, and then add it on your calculator to check it. Check my work, okay? Here we go. Here's the equation we did already. 581 minus 409, we already know that it was 192. Make your equation. All right, let's see what you got. I'm going to make my equation. 192 plus 409. Add them together. Okay, that's 11. And then, okay, and then 601. Uh-oh, what happened? Something is wrong. When I added 192 and 409, I got 601, which does not match the my subtraction equation. What should I do if they don't match? How can you tell where I messed up? Do you know where it was? We have to redo the whole thing. So let's take a look. Let's just work through it, find where the mistake was. Okay? 1 minus 9, we can't do that. So we need to rename. 7. Okay? Come over here and we have 10 plus 1. 11 minus 9 is 2. 7 minus 0 is 7. And 5 minus 4 is 1. 172. Aha! My subtraction was wrong. I forgot to mark it when I renamed it. So when I subtracted 0 tens from the 8 tens rather than the 7 tens. So that's partly why I was wrong. So if I hadn't done the check problem, I never would have known it. The correct answer to the subtraction problem is 172. And now we should still check our work with this equation, okay, on the calculator. So let's figure it out. Instead of having to write it out again, what do? We take this number, 172, plus this number, 409, equals 581. 581, yay! All right, now you may use the calculator today, but only to check your work. Okay, and now it's time to put our skills to work in a word problem. Make sure you are really thinking today. Dr. Miriam drove 238 miles to her first clinic. She spent 12 hours seeing patients. Then she drove 145 miles to the next clinic. How many miles did Dr. Miriam drive? What is the question? How many miles did Dr. Miriam drive? Now think about what information is needed to solve the problem. So what information did you discover? Right, Dr. Miriam drove 238 miles to the first clinic. And she drove 145 miles to the next clinic. And also, she spent 12 hours seeing patients. So those were the numbers that were in our word problem. Now, is there any information that is not needed to solve the problem? Think about the question. How many miles did she drive? So there's a little bit of information about spending 12 hours to see patients. We don't need to know that to answer the question, do we? So what equation did you write to solve the problem? Did you write 238 plus 145? Did you solve it? Did you label it? Okay, what did you get? 238 plus 145 equals 383 miles. And yes, you did need to rename. See, that was actually easy once you got rid of that extra information, wasn't it? Okay, here's another one. Watch for that extra information. Dr. Miriam saw 165 patients at the first clinic. She saw 205 patients at the second clinic. She used 100 cotton balls. How many more patients did Dr. Miriam see at the second clinic than the first clinic? Think about what you need to know to answer the question. Is there anything extra in there? And cross that part out. Hey, was there any extra information in there? Yes, it was. You didn't need to know about the cotton balls, did you? Okay, what's your equation? 205 minus 165 equals 40 patients. Did you solve it? Did you label? Did you check it? Did you use your calculator and make an addition problem to check it? Let's see what you would have had. If you did it on your scrap paper, you had 205 minus 165, and you did the math, and you got 40. Oops, you caught me. 40 patients. Ah. So then you're going to make your addition equation. 40 plus 165 equals 205. 205, yes, they match. So we know we did the math right. And that's how the calculator can help you, okay? Don't use it to do the first part problem. Your brain needs to do that. But you can use the calculator as a shortcut just to help you check your work. You're even going to need it on the work text. But right now, my brain needs a break. So let's do a little bit of practice and review. Now, while you have your calculator handy, you might want to use it to check the answers on your math facts after you give the answer. So get out some flashcards, punch in the equation, and then say the answer before you hit the equal button, okay? See how many you get right. Then you'll be ready to meet up with our superheroes. Zoom!
He munches and crunches on math facts. He's Zoom!
Let's take a bite out of this first subtraction problem. 14 minus 7, chop it in half. 7! Yum, yum, I'm ready for some more, how about you? 5 minus 2 equals 3! Wow, you're gonna need some sharp teeth for this one. 12 minus 8 equals 4! Yikes, humongous! We're chewing right through these. Better get that jaw ready. Here comes a whole bunch of subtraction action. 10 minus 1 equals 9! Way to go! 13 minus 5 equals 8! Next one's a toughie. Think hard. 15 minus 8 equals 7! Zoom it up! 11 minus 3 equals 8! You're doing awesome. 16 minus 7. Another toughie. 9. Keep on zooming. 14 minus 6 equals 8. This next one should be no problem. 8 minus 4, chop it in half, 4. Here's another one you can bite in half. 18 minus 9 equals 9. Okay, sink your teeth into this last one. 7 minus 5 equals 2. Super fantastical. You chewed right through those problems in no time. We're zoomerific.
Did you practice enough to get most of them right? Practice really helps, you know. And we haven't practiced our capacity for a very long time. So let's take a look at our capacity chart. What does this first picture show? Yes, it is a cup. Cup. And what's this one? What does this picture show? A pint of milk. Do you know how many cups are in a pint? Yes, 1 pint equals 2 cups. Okay, what is this picture down here of? Can you read that word? It's a quart. And do you know how many pints are in a quart? There are 2 pints in a quart, and if there's 2 cups in each pint, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4 cups in a quart. Okay? What does the last picture down here show? It shows a gallon of milk. And how many quarts are in a gallon? Right, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 quarts. Or you could have 2 pints and 2 pints and 2 pints and 2 pints, which would be 2, 4, 6, 8 pints. Or you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 cups. You could count by fours. 4, 8, 12, 16 cups in a gallon. Whoa. Now, since it's been a while that we talked about these, let's think about which one of these you would use in different situations. If you had to fill up the bathtub, you wouldn't want to use a cup to do it. So let's think about which one we would use. Which measure would we use to, for instance, fill up a swimming pool? Would it be a cup, a pint, a quart, or a gallon? How can we fill it up the fastest? Which one? Point to the right answer. Yes, a gallon. Okay. How about if we were going to measure the amount of milk in a glass? Would we use a cup, a pint, a quart, or a gallon? Yeah, if it's the kind of milk you drink with cookies, it would probably just be a cup you would use. How about to measure the spaghetti sauce in a large cooking pot? Would you use a cup to measure it? A pint, quart, or a gallon? I mean a large pot. You would use a quart or a gallon. A gallon of spaghetti sauce is a lot of spaghetti sauce, depending on the size of the pot. Or if you were going to measure how much water was in the vase of flowers. Looks like a gallon would be too much. Looks like a quart might be too much. You would probably either want to use a cup or a pint to measure the water in the vase. Okay, we've done a little bit of everything that's on our work text pages, so let's take a look at them and nail it down. Page 205 and 6. Thank you, Patty. Now take a look at what we talked about today. We talked about subtracting, and we talked a little bit about extra information. But we also reviewed some other skills, okay? It says to subtract, and doesn't have one done for you, so they must assume that you are really good at this. So first it says to do your subtraction. Okay, let's do one together. 9 minus 3. Do we need to rename? No. 0 minus 9. Do we need to rename? Yes. Cross it out, mark it, and mark it. 10 minus 9 is 1. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then what do we do with that? We check our work. So let's make an addition problem. Move this up here. 416 and 293. And we're going to add them together. 6 plus 3 is 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. That's a 0 or is a 1. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 2 is 7. 709. It works. And if you'd like to, you can go ahead and check that on the calculator as well. But on these first two, we want you to actually write out the equation to do the check, to show that you know what to do. And then when you get down here, you can subtract. And then you can check it on the calculator. And after you've checked it on the calculator, then you put a check mark there or you fill in that little circle to show that you did it. Because there's no other way to show what you punched without having to write it down. So to keep it a shortcut, you just fill in the bubble. So make sure that you do it with the calculator and then mark it on each one of these, okay? So make sure you got them right. Maybe circle the top if you got it right. Now here is a word problem with extra information. Draw a line through any extra information that will really help you solve it. Then write an equation for the word problem. Bink, bink, bink. Do the work. Maybe check it on the calculator if you like to make sure you got it right. And then write the equation and label it. And here's a baobab tree there, or a baobab tree. That's a lot more leafy than the ones we saw. Now, once you have that, if you think you've really got it, maybe have Mom look at it, then do the back because it's more of the same. Subtract, and then do an addition problem on the calculator and mark it once you did it. And do that for each one of those to show that you checked it. Okay, then you have some more word problems. And I don't think these have extra information in them, but you should always read your word problems at least twice to make sure. And it helps if you circle the numbers that you think are involved, and if it's extra, cross it out, okay? Write your equation, work it out, write the answer, solve it, and label on each of those, okay? And then down here it says think of a real object. Circle the correct measuring unit. What would you use to measure that, okay? Can you think about that? All right, your assignment for today is page 205 and 6, and then practice your math facts and check your answer with a calculator. Do your best.